through the basics of circles, right? Basics of circles, and the target would be to just do the basics, as in what are the formulas that you should remember, and what is the implication of formulas, so that you can convert them into questions when we do the other pre-recorded lecture. So first of all, if I have to teach you, there are two important topics for this particular chapter with regard to JEE Mains. Okay, so the first very important property that we are going to use in the lecture is geometry of circles. Right, you will find a lot of questions coming from geometry of circles. ये जो topic है, mostly सबसे ज़्यादा पूछा जाता है अगर हम सिर्फ JEE Mains की बात करें. The other circle is number of common tangents, right? Number of common tangents to two circle. तो number of common tangents to two circles एक बड़ा important topic है. और जब एक आता है number of common tangents to circle and parabola, ये एक important topic है. तो जो दूसरा वाला है circle and parabola वाला, we are going to cover that in the parabola topic, but for common tangents between two circles we are going to cover and understand the basic formula of this in this particular lecture. The other rest of the formulas that you will do and see in different books for this particular chapter. So for example, there will be chord formulas, right? Chord passing through midpoint of a equation of a chord passing through midpoint and all that. You might not require to remember them for JEE Mains. That's the good point about this chapter, right? So for this particular crisp 10-minute video, what we guys are going to do is make sure that we remember all the necessary tools required for geometry of circles, plus common tangents and some other important formulas which you should be doing before getting into the. So before moving on further, we should actually know what is the standard form, which I suppose everybody must be knowing here, but let's just quickly do it. It is x square plus y square equal to a square, where radius becomes here a, radius is equal to a, and the center here is 0, 0, right, the coordinates. And if I want it to be written as where h comma k is the center, then you definitely know that this is going to be the case here. Okay, so this is the standard form of circle, which is mostly used in 90% of the questions that you will get at JEE Mains. We will also talk about the general form, but let's quickly do this. So here the center again becomes h comma k, first of all, and the radius still remains the same. Radius does not change here. Okay, radius is equal to a. So now we are going to do some special cases which are asked very much with regard to your standard form. Okay, so I'm going to pick some pictures which will highlight those special cases by which we can understand. Okay, so let's do equation of circle in some special cases, and this is the same formula sheet which has been provided to you. I'm just going to explain the formulas and their application. So the first point is, if the center of the circle is h comma k and it passes through origin, then equations look like this. Very, very important. You just have to remember what is the and how you have to remember that the constant is 0. There is no constant term in this particular. Constant will be 0 if the circle passes through your origin. And generally this concept is used in general form or general equation of circle. So general equation of circle is generally given by x square, you know that x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. So when the circle passes through the origin, this c must be 0. Very, very important rule. ठीक है, चलिए इससे ज़्यादा important rule जो है वो अब हम आगे करते हैं. अब special cases कैसे बनेंगे, please listen to them very carefully. If the circle touches the x-axis, so now the condition is if the circle touches x-axis. So when the circle touches x-axis, what you have to remember for this is the ordinate of center. Ordinate of center, its modulus value is equal to radius. These two things are equal. That is what you guys have to remember. So now if I want to, let's say, and these are the four possible diagrams that could be there. This is in the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. There could be multiple cases, but somewhere down the line they will be of the same sort. So let's say this is h comma k, for example, the center. Then what I'm saying is that this distance.
All my friends are toxic, all ambitionless, so rude and always negative.
That is, you can say, is radius is going to be equal to k, right? So if you second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant, there could be multiple cases, but somewhere down the line they will be of the same sort. So let's say this is h comma k, for example, the center. Then what I'm saying is that this distance, that is, you can say, is radius, is going to be equal to k, right? So if you try and form the equation, what will be the equation? It will look like something like this: h minus x minus h square plus y minus k whole square equal to not a square, but it will be k square only. Understood? Why we have written four formulas if you are revising the formulas here? Because now you will have, for first quadrant you will have both negative signs here. For second quadrant, this h comma k would be what? Minus h comma k. That is why it will convert it to plus here, and so on and so forth. You can remember that. But the important point to remember here is that the circle is touching x-axis, then the ordinate of the center is equal to radius. And these three properties are going to be used very, very extensively in your JEE Mains. Circle touching y-axis. So now you can very well imagine what is going to happen. Ordinate था पहले, तो ordinate word we can remove. Rather than ordinate, we can say that the abscissa of center, abscissa of the center and its modulus value is going to be equal to radius. And if touches the y, then this is the particular diagram that you will have to remember, right? So if you notice, if this is your h comma k this time, okay, let's say this is your h comma k. So what will be the equation of the circle? Now this is radius, right? This is radius. So this radius value will be nothing but equal to modulus h. That is what you have to remember. So now equation of the circle will be x minus h square plus y minus k whole square equal to h square. All right. So the next particular case that we have to study is if the circle touches both. First we did the x touching x-axis, then touching y-axis. So now very important when it touches both the x's. So there could be, first of all, what you should remember is four possible cases. Four possible cases. How we have made, this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant. Now what is going to happen? We have done that ordinate is equal to radius when it is touching x-axis. We have done abscissa becomes equal to radius when it is touching y-axis. Now since it is touching both, these two will also become equal. Ordinate is equal to abscissa is equal to radius. That means it will not be h comma k, it will be h comma h, and radius is also going to be equal to h. So the equation where the circle touches both the x's in the first quadrant would look like this: y minus h square equal to h square. And now you can further go on and simplify this. अगर यही काम second quadrant में हो रहा होता इस वाले में तो point क्या रहता minus h comma h, तो equation क्या बनती x plus h whole square plus y minus h square equal to h square, and so on and so forth. You can form using third quadrant and the fourth quadrant. I hope this is very much clear because these three cases are going to definitely be asked in one or the other session in JEE any given day. ठीक है, तो प्लीज इसको ढंग से करना हमारे लिए. Okay, so now other cases which you guys are going to do are nothing but extension of what you guys have already done. So if you are done with the first three cases, the other cases, the special cases will be very easy for you to follow. For example, this case is if the circle touches x-axis at origin. So if you notice here the diagram, this is the origin, the circle is touching both. What is happening is it is touching. So if you notice there are 2-3 cases which will be clubbed: touching x-axis plus passing through origin. Right, and both the, then you can say the conditions would be applied: passing through origin. And notice there could be two possible cases: case one when this happens above x-axis, case two could be when it happens below x-axis. And sometimes we forget to take these cases, and there has been a question in past at JEE mains where the question we started with taking case one, that is above x-axis, but actually the case was below x-axis case, which people or the students were not able to consider. So please, whenever it is given that it is touching x-axis at origin, then you have to make sure that you remember that there are going to be two cases. Now the good point is here, since it is touching x-axis and it is passing through origin, this implies that the abscissa of center is going to be 0. That is a very important funda. So that is why you can say it is 0 comma k, or it is going to be 0 comma minus k. And obviously since it is touching x-axis, you know that the radius is nothing but k. So it becomes x square plus y plus minus, you can say, k square equal to k square. This is what is going to be the answer. Right? Very important case, right? So we can repeat the same case when it is touching y-axis at origin. This will be case 1 when it touches the y-axis on the right side. Case 2 will be when it touches the y-axis on the left hand side. Here it will be what? Ordinate of the center will be 0. It will be h comma 0, and this point could be written as minus h comma 0. And interestingly, radius is going to be h, and then you can form the equations. Okay, Chale. The next important case you can say that we have to take is if the circle passes through origin and cuts intercept of A and B. So for example, here the circle is passing through, this is your origin, right? This is your origin. So the circle passes through origin, it cuts an intercept of A unit is this is B units, right? On x-axis, then the equation of the circle. Notice we have mentioned again, these could be 4 cases. So we just have drawn this in the first quadrant. ये आपने किसमें बनाया है? सिर्फ first quadrant में बनाया है. ऐसे ही second quadrant में बनेगा, second, third, fourth, and so forth. इसमें बस याद क्या रखना होता है, जब अगर इस तरह का केस है कि इंटरसेप्ट A और B दे रखे हैं, आपका सेंटर क्या हो जाता है? मिड पॉइंट ऑफ दीज इंटरसेप्ट्स. दैट इज A था x एक्सिस पे तो A/2, B था तो B/2, A, 2, B/2 will be the what you can say will be the center. very easily you can predict that. ठीक है. और अगर इसको आपको अब आगे सॉल्व करना हो कि सर देखा जाए तो हमें पता है कि since it is passing through origin, constant term will be 0. एक तो इसकी क्या हो जाएगी कांस्टेंट. तो बस आप बड़े आराम से अब ना कुछ भी ना करते हुए सीधा इक्वेशन कैसे करते हैं x² + y². यहाँ हमें पता है क्या आता है अगला टर्म +2gx. इसमें सेंटर के कोऑर्डिनेट्स क्या होते हैं, माइनस जी कॉमा माइनस एफ. सो इफ यू से दैट योर सेंटर इज a कॉमा 2, दैट मींस g की वैल्यू क्या होनी चाहिए थी, माइनस जी शुड बी इक्वल टू a बाय 2. Just put the value here. So you will notice what will be the new value that is going to come. This will be x square plus y square. ये 2 और 2 कैंसिल हो जाएंगे, ये वाला, और ये कितना बन जाएगा, माइनस ax. And solve it similarly, we'll get minus by equal to 0. There will be no c term because it is passing through origin. And if you notice, this is what is written here. So in 10 minute में जो हमने पढ़ा है, it is very very important. This is called geometry of circle, and you will definitely get a question from these one of the cases. So please do them. ओके, नेक्स्ट वी हैव टू डू द जनरल इक्वेशन ऑफ सर्कल. ये सबको पता है तो बहुत जल्दी से हम इसको करके निकलेंगे. जनरल इक्वेशन ऑफ सर्कल इज व्हेन इट इज गिवन इन x square plus y square plus 2gx plus c equal to 0. Center is minus g comma minus f, that is 1 minus 1 by 2 times coefficient of x. And similarly for y, radius is y under root g square plus f square minus c. Please make sure when you do this calculation, very very important rule is written, make coefficients of x square and y square equal to 1, otherwise your answers will be wrong. I have seen students committing this error that they know the process but they forget to apply this and they get a minus 1. Okay. Importantly, if you want to ask that whether a given second degree curve, so what do you mean by second degree? Here if you notice the power of x is 2, here the power of y is 2, that makes it second degree curve. Okay, so second degree curve represents a circle or not. So that can be found based on the condition of radius. So if radius value is greater than 0, that means it's a circle. If the radius is equal to 0, that is under root की जगह जो अंदर लिखा हुआ है g square plus f square minus c comes out to be equal to 0, we call it a point. And if it is less than 0, then we do not say it's a circle, it is a imaginary circle. All right. Okay, the next formula important with respect to your JEE means is the diametric form of circle. So what do you mean by diametric form? That if this is a circle which is given to you, we know that the diameter passes through the center. So if you say that this x1 comma y1 and this is your x2 comma y2, which are diametrically opposite points, then you can find the equation of circle without solving for radius and center. Simply do x minus x1 into x minus x2 plus y minus y1 into y minus y2 equal to 0. Sometimes this formula comes in really really handy, so please make sure that you remember it. Next is the parametric equation of circle. जैसे हमने parametric equation of line करा था, वो यहाँ पर भी होता है, बट उतना ज्यादा रिकॉर्ड में अगर मैं बात करूँ उतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. बट जस्ट लेट्स सी इफ वी हैव टू डू इट वेरी वेरी क्विकली, हाउ वी कैन कवर दिस वेरी वेरी क्विकली. सो पैरामेट्रिक फॉर्म, अगर हम स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म ऑफ सर्कल लेते हैं इस तरीके से, तो कुछ भी नहीं होता है. क्या हो जाता है, एनी पॉइंट कैन बी टेकन एज a cos थीटा कॉमा a sin थीटा. ठीक है, और क्यों लिया गया है ये, क्योंकि a cos थीटा को आप x की जगह रिप्लेस करोगे, एंड इफ यू रिप्लेस a sin थीटा विद y, you will get LHS as a square, which proves the stuff. Let's say if the equation of the circle is x minus h square plus y minus k whole square equal to a square, then it will become h plus a cos theta, comma k plus a sin theta. This will become the parametric form of the circle if it is. Okay, so though we do write parametric equation with regard to your general form also, जैसे general form है ये, हमने इसके भी आपको formula sheet में दिया है, but you can skip this. This is what I can tell you, that you can skip this. This is not very important with regard to your JEE main syllabus. The next important definition that you guys have to do is the position of a point with respect to a circle. ठीक है, मतलब क्या है ऐसा कि अगर सर हमको कहीं ना कहीं क्वेश्चन में पूछा जाए कि एक सर्कल है तो एक पॉइंट है P, ये आउटसाइड लाई करेगा, ऑन दी सर्कल लाई करेगा, इनसाइड लाई करेगा, how you will judge that, then there is the rule. So आगे से याद रखेंगे हम सर्कल या कोने की हमेशा इक्वेशन को किससे रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, s से. s is basically the expression जो आप लिखते हो ना, x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c, this becomes s, which we call as the expression. Now if you have a point p, p ले लेते हैं x1 y1, तो आपको चेक करने के लिए कुछ नहीं करना है, you will have to calculate s1. s1 क्या होता है, put p in s. ठीक है, put p in s, ये डालेंगे. तो अगर इसको पुट करने के बाद, मतलब x की जगह you will replace x1, instead of y you will replace it y1, and your values of s1 comes out to be these three, या तो greater आएगा या 0 आएगा या फिर less than 0 आएगा. So the greater than 0, p is outside, that means ये वाला point. If equal to 0, obvious ही बात है, p जो है satisfy कर रहा है उस expression को, that means p lies on the circle. Less than 0, तो p क्या हो गया, inside point. ठीक है, एक ही बात, इसके ऊपर कैसे क्वेश्चंस बनते हैं. So you can find inequality based questions on this concept. Why inequality? I am giving you again a hint, because if you notice in these two conditions, greater than and less than 0, inequality is coming. That is why you can have inequality based questions using this. Okay, and sometimes in your JEE mains level, or in fact to JEE advanced also to some extent, a question can be asked that if P is an external point, what is the maximum distance of this P point, max or min distance with regard to circle, with regard to the circle. So if you notice, let me just expand this again for you guys to see. So if you notice, whatever the case would be, either PA or PB or and C, let's say this B is becoming your center of the circle. So maximum and minimum distance you always have to remember lie along the line joining the center, right? So that means you have to join P point with the center and extend it so that AC becomes diameter. तो यहाँ पर हो क्या रहा है, अगर हमें notice करा जाए that AC क्या बन जाता है, AC becomes the diameter, right? So if you want to find the maximum or the minimum value, then you can easily notice then this PA will become the minimum value. PA comes out to be the minimum value. Okay, how you can calculate that? Very very simple. You can find the distance of the P point from the center PB. ये कहाँ से आएगा आपके पास? 2 point फॉर्मूले से आ जाएगा because P and center is known to you, and AB equal to BC is nothing but equal to radius. So if you want to find PA, PA can be written as PB minus AB. That is equal to distance of the point P from the center minus the radius. So minus radius. Got it? That is what is written in the formula book, AC minus R. For the maximum distance, if you guys want to find, this P will have a maximum distance when it is diametrically opposite point of A, that is C. उसको अगर आप join करेंगे तो PC becomes where you will have maximum distance. PC is of the point of max value. And very easily you can say, sir, PC तो क्या था? PC was PB plus BC, which is nothing but, again, this time you will just have to add radius, which is again written in your formula. Got it? So this is a complete question in itself. Please remember the logic. Okay, the next concept that you have to revise in the formula sheet is that what is going to happen when there is line and circle. That means what will be the cases when there is a line and a circle. So you should remember that there could be possible 3 cases. No intersection, it becomes a secant, it intersects at 2 point, and the last case when it becomes a tangent, right? How do you figure that out? Is simply very very easy, which you guys must have done in 10th. कि हम क्या करते हैं, सेंटर से लाइन का डिस्टेंस निकाल लेते हैं, ठीक है? सेंटर से लाइन का डिस्टेंस which I have taken in the formula sheet as P, ठीक है? ये P डिस्टेंस हो गया, ये वाला, right? And you know the radius also R. So if this P distance is greater than R, so that means line is outside the circle, which is your case 1, which I have made here. This is your case 1. कह रहे याद आ गया, सिंपल. और आप ये P कैसे निकालेंगे? ये स्ट्रेट लाइन का फॉर्मूला आ गया, डिस्टेंस ऑफ अ पॉइंट फ्रॉम अ लाइन. सो फॉर एग्जांपल इट इज x1, y1 अगर ये था और लाइन थी आपकी ax plus by plus c equal to 0, तो P की वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगी? बाय पुटिंग x1 y1 इन द इक्वेशन ऑफ लाइन लाइक दिस. याद आ गया, हमने ये करा हुआ है फॉर्मूला. क्या हो गया? अंडर रूट a स्क्वायर प्लस b स्क्वायर. ठीक है, तो इसीलिए भी ये इंपॉर्टेंट होता है कई बार ये वाला कॉन्सेप्ट, क्योंकि इसमें आपका स्ट्रेट लाइन का कॉन्सेप्ट भी इज गेटिंग रिवाइज्ड हियर. सो इफ p इज इक्वल टू r, right, then the line touches the circle. कौन सा केस हो गया? केस 3 जो मैंने यहाँ बना रखा है, which becomes the case 3 I should say equal to, that means this is the case of tangent जो आपको याद करने होते हैं फॉर्मूला बुक के अंदर. लेस देन, मतलब अगर p का वैल्यू ये वाला केस हो गया लेस देन r है, that means it is inside, it becomes a case 2, that is secant case. Clear guys? और अगर p का डिस्टेंस 0 है, ये क्या मतलब हुआ जो हमने लिखा हुआ है, if p is equal to 0, that means सेंटर से ही पास कर रही है लाइन, so that means this becomes the diameter. So it's a very very special case which you don't have to do, but yes, you should know that what is the meaning when p is equal to. Okay, so the next important thing with regard to this particular formula sheet is condition of tangency. Why it is important? Because this condition of tangency, where it is going to be utilized in JEE means when you have common tangent concept. Which question uses this particular concept? Common tangent to circle and parabola, and then we guys do not remember this, and that is where we guys miss out, right? So इसलिए आपको ये याद रखना बहुत जरूरी है. क्या है फॉर्मूला? x square plus y square equal to a square, standard form of circle. Y is equal to mx plus c, standard equation of a line in the slope form. What is the condition of tangency? C square is equal to a square times 1 plus m square, or c is equal to plus minus a under root 1 plus m square. क्या मतलब है? प्लस माइनस क्यों आ रहा है सर? If you want to understand it this way very very quickly, this is the circle. So if you say, sir, this is the tangent, so the same slope tangent would be below also. So these two would be parallel tangents. That is the meaning. ठीक है, पैरेलल टेंजेंट. सो एक y इक्वल टू mx प्लस माइनस हो गया क्योंकि c की वैल्यू प्लस माइनस आ रही है, a टाइम्स अंडर रूट 1 plus m square, right? So 1 plus would be, let's say, for line 1 tangent 1, and the other minus would be for line 2, that is tangent 2. Why? Because they are parallel, m remains the same, right? Only the constant value is changing, that is why. Okay, understood guys? Very very important. Please remember the most important formula which you will utilize in the concept of common tangent to circle and. So if you guys are also interested कि कई लोग होते हैं inquisitiveness होता है कि सर ये कहाँ से आया ये फॉर्मूला, so इसको प्रूव करना बहुत आसान है. मैं quickly I am going to give you a hint. So x square plus y square equal to a square, and another is y equal to mx plus c. Put the value of y in this particular expression. So this will become x square is equal to mx plus c का whole square equal to a square. अब आप चाहते हैं, you want that this should have, these two curves should have, इनके कितने intersections होने चाहिए इन दोनों curves के? You want only one intersection, right? Because आपको टेंजेंट के केस में क्या चाहिए होता है? It should be just touching. That means you want one solution if you are trying to find intersection. But this is a quadratic. Quadratic having one solution, that means quadratic should have repeated root, equal root, whatever you want to call it, repeated root or equal root. And we know that equal root condition happens when the quadratic is equal to 0. तो इस बहाने हमने quadratic भी याद कर लिया. तो आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, जो एक quadratic बन रहा है, ये वाली quadratic equation, इसको solve करो. ये क्या बना? x square is equal to 1 plus m square. अगर तुम्हें और डिटेल में जाके रिवीजन करनी है, बट फॉर जेईई मेंस लेवल यू डोंट रिक्वायर इट, सो यू कैन रिलैक्स देयर. तो ये बना कुछ. अब आपको सिर्फ इसका d equal to 0 करना है. If you calculate d equal to 0, you will automatically come to this condition, c square is equal to a square times 1 plus m square. ठीक है, I have given you the head start कि इसको प्रूव कैसे करा गया है. Another important formula that you can directly remember is intercepts made by a circle on x axis and y axis. x axis में g का कंपोनेंट आता है, y axis में f का कंपोनेंट आता है. फिर से if you want to listen to the proof very quickly, इंटरसेप्ट का मतलब क्या पहले वो समझ लो. ये सर्कल था तो x इंटरसेप्ट क्या हुआ? ये दो वैल्यूज a b. ये निकलती कैसे हैं? जब मैं इसी इक्वेशन में y को 0 डाल देता हूँ, और तो y को 0 डालता हूँ यहाँ पर, कितना बना? x square plus 2gx plus c equal to 0 बन गया. आपके पास इसके दो रूट्स आएंगे, x1 और x2, which are nothing but this is x1, this is x2. What do you actually want to find? इंटरसेप्ट हुए क्या? x इंटरसेप्ट है मॉडुलस x2 minus x1. So how do you calculate when you have to find x2? So that is actually calculated by doing this. कैसे करेंगे? एक मिनट. Yes, so what you will do, that you will do x1 plus x2 whole square minus कितना हो जाएगा? 4x1 x2, for which now you know sum of roots and product of roots, put the values and you will get the answer. ठीक है, इसका स्क्वायर की वैल्यू है equal to. Okay, so the next thing that you guys have to do or listen to very properly and remember is equation of tangent. Equation of tangent अगर आप सर्कल की कर लोगे तो it will be very easy to then make sure that you can apply the same logic for parabola, ellipse and hyperbola also. तो जल्दी से याद करें, और बहुत सारे बच्चों को एक्चुअल में ये याद होती है, but still we are revising, so our target is to just quickly go and revise it. So this will be something like this. अगर ये इस तरीके से सर्कल दे रखा है, that is in the general form of circle is given, and you want to find equation of tangent in x1 y1. Important thing to remember, this x1 y1 should lie on circle. ठीक है, ये सर्कल पे लाई करना चाहिए, तब ये फॉर्मूला होता है, ये याद रखना है तुम लोगों को. तो क्या होता है? x स्क्वायर है, x स्क्वायर को प्रोडक्ट करना है, तो क्या होगा? x into x, एक x को x1 कर दो. y स्क्वायर कैसे बनता है? y into y, एक y को y1 कर दो. ये g हुआ तो कितना बचा? 2x. हाउ कैन you write 2x, x plus x, right? 1x as x1. Similarly do it for y plus y1 plus c equal to 0. That is how you can remember. The same concept can be done for x square plus y square equal to a square. You can do it for general form, you can do it for the standard form. Both works the same way. In this case it will be x x1 plus y y1 equal to a square. ठीक है, अब याद होगा, अब कभी भूलना नहीं है इस चीज को हमें. ठीक है, so this is the formula which we just did for circle. Equation of tangent we just did. But अगर हमारे पास अच्छी बात है, स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म में सर्कल दिया हुआ है, जो कि बहुत ज्यादा हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी होती है कि स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म में ही दिया होगा, तो स्लोप फॉर्म में भी हम वैल्यूज निकाल सकते हैं. स्लोप फॉर्म क्या होगी? जो अपने अभी कंडीशन ऑफ टेंजेंसी निकाली थी, सी, तो वो ये इक्वेशन क्या बन गई? y is equal to mx. दिस इज व्हेन द स्लोप ऑफ द टेंजेंट इज गिवन. इसको हम कब यूज करते हैं? जब हमें क्या दिया होता है? स्लोप ऑफ टेंजेंट इज गिवन. ठीक है, हमें ये स्लोप ऑफ टेंजेंट दे रखी होगी, तब हम इस तरीके से इसको यूज करेंगे. पैरामेट्रिक फॉर्म कुछ भी नहीं है. पैरामेट्रिक फॉर्म क्या होता है? आप पॉइंट को पैरामेट्रिक फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट कर दो. आप अभी इसमें निकाल रहे थे x1 y1, सो दिस मींस हियर x1 इज कन्वर्टेड टू a cos थीटा and y1 is converted to a sin theta. कुछ भी नया नहीं है, nothing to be afraid of. A lot of students get confused at how this has been done. So x x1 plus y y1 is equal to a square. ये point form of tangent थी, बस इस point में x1 की जगह आप a cos theta, y1 की जगह a sin theta पुट कर दोगे तो क्या आ जाएगा आपके पास? चुपचाप पैरामेट्रिक फॉर्म. दिस becomes nothing but x cos theta y sin theta equal to a. So अगर आपसे आपको ये याद भी नहीं, तब भी you can very well easily do, because one is already known to you. Okay, so the next concept that we have to do is number of tangents to two circles, or number of common tangents to two circle. I have already taken the 5 cases that are possible. देखो क्या हो सकते हैं वो हम cases अगर बात करें, तो पहला केस जो बनता है वो एक्चुअल में ये वाला केस है कि एक सर्कल यहाँ है, एक सर्कल बाहर है, दोनों इंटरसेक्ट नहीं कर रहे और दोनों बाहर की तरफ है, जो हमने केस 2 में ले लिया. राइट, सो इफ यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दिस केस, ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दीस ऑल फॉर्मूलाज आर टाइड अप विद certain properties, that is C1 and C2. C1 C2 is distance between centers. Distance between centers. And this is again very important with respect to JEE mains. It is the second most important topic of this particular chapter. Distance between centers. So if this is C1 and this is C2, and another is R1 and R2, the radius. So all the cases would use C1, C2, R1 and R2. So first of all, let's just discuss quickly about how the cases are built. So this is case 1, according to me, the case 2. then you can do one thing. You can imagine as if this circle moves closer. So if this moves closer, then they can touch. Then this becomes case 2. Then the circle moves further closer inside towards. So imagine this smaller circle is a human which is moving from right to left direction. So then it becomes touching. Then this person can still move to the left in this case, which it will become case 3. Now they will intersect at two particular points. Then this circle can further go inside and can now again touch, but internal touch, which is case 4. And then they can, this smaller circle can still go towards the left and can be completely inside the circle 2. But after that, if it again moves to the left, let's say here, this case and this case here are actually same. That is why we don't do, because now the cases will start repeating. Understood, guys, everyone? So let me remove all this so that we can now concentrate on the things. So what sort of questions are asked is number of common tangents. There are two type of tangents which we will do, and you will find in formulas also. Direct tangents, direct tangent, and transverse tangents, right? Okay, so direct, as the name suggests, that they will be direct. Okay, direct tangents, as the name suggests, they are direct. What is a direct tangent? For example, this is a direct tangent. This is a direct tangent. What are, if you may ask, sir, what are transfers? So this is your transverse tangent. Okay, let me draw with a pointed edge. So this is your transverse. The something which is forming X. Okay, though at G means level, you will never be asked about how many transverse tangents would be there. You will just be asked how many total tangents would be there. Total is nothing but when you add them both. So if you notice very eventually, अब आपके पास सारे आंसर, हमने केस 1 ये बनाया था अपना. Let me just remove this. चलिए, so we have taken this as a case 1. Case 1 में यहाँ notice करो C1 C2. C1 C2 डिस्टेंस कौन सा डिस्टेंस है? ये से लेकर यहाँ तक. एक काम करते हैं, ये सारी चीजें हटा देते हैं लोग. We'll just start with what is required. तो we wanted C1 C2. ये जो डिस्टेंस है नोटिस करो, ये वाला डिस्टेंस, इसमें अगर आप नोटिस करें, it is greater than R1 plus R2. दोनों के रेडियस को ऐड कर दो, फिर भी उससे बड़ा है. और अच्छी बात क्या, नंबर ऑफ टेंजेंट्स कितनी है टोटल इसमें? 4. 2 डायरेक्ट एंड 2 ट्रांसवर्स टेंजेंट्स. नेक्स्ट है तीसरा, जब ये आसपास मूव करके एक दूसरे को टच कर रहे हैं. टच कर रहे हैं मतलब दे आर टचिंग एक्सटर्नली. इसको कहते हैं टचिंग एक्सटर्नली. इस केस में क्या हो रहा है, नोटिस करो, C1 C2 जो है, जो ये डिस्टेंस है C1 C2, इसकी वैल्यू कितनी हो गई? C1 C2 is actually equal to R1 plus R2. और इसमें कितनी नंबर ऑफ टेंजेंट्स हैं? नोटिस करो, दो तो डायरेक्ट हैं ही, अभी भी एक बन रही है ट्रांसफर, जो कि लगता है नहीं, बट जो वर्टिकल टेंजेंसी तुम्हें दिख रही है, ये अभी भी टेंजेंट है. तो एक दो तो आपके पास क्या हुई इस क्वेश्चन में? यू हैव टू डायरेक्ट टेंजेंट्स like this and one transfer. So the value, if I have to write, the number of tangents would be 3 here. The next is that they will क्रॉस ईच अदर, राइट? दैट इज यहाँ पर इस वाले रीजन की बात हो रही है. तो अगर नोटिस करो, अगर मुझे ये चीज देखी जाए, C1 और C2 का डिस्टेंस, तो आपके पास C1 C2 का डिस्टेंस जो है 100% R1 plus R2 से छोटा है. बट दैट इज नॉट दी ओनली कंडीशन विच विल हेल्प दिस केस. इससे पहले मैं जाता हूँ केस 4 में. केस 4 में जो ये डिस्टेंस था C1 C2, सिंस नाउ दे आर, इसको कहते हैं इंटरनल टच. इसको याद कैसे करना है? इंटरनली टचिंग. इस केस में क्या हो जाता है? C1 C2 क्या बन जाता है? इक्वल टू मॉडुलस ऑफ R1 माइनस R2, मतलब जो भी बड़ा हो, R1 बड़ा हो या R2, इसलिए मॉड लगा देते हैं. ठीक है. और इस केस में हमें दिख रहा है नंबर ऑफ कॉमन टेंजेंट्स कितनी है? 1. ठीक है, जो बाहर बन रही है कौन सी? ये वाली देखो. गॉट इट गाइस? तो अगर हम नोटिस करें, जो हमने बीच में ये केस छोड़ दिया था, ये केस कंप्लीट होता है जब आप लिखते हैं ये वाले केस में सबसे लेंदी केस होता है आपका केस नंबर 3, जहां आपको दो कंडीशंस चेक करनी होती है. टू केसेस, दैट एक तो वो R1 प्लस R2 से छोटा भी होना चाहिए और R1 माइनस R2 से बड़ा होना चाहिए. और इस पर्टिकुलर केस में हमें टेंजेंट्स कितनी मिलती हैं? 2, और दोनों की दोनों डायरेक्ट, एज यू कैन सी. लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, लास्ट केस आता है C1 C2. अगर आपका R1 माइनस R2 से भी छोटा है, ठीक है, ये वाला केस, तो सर्कल विल लाई वन सर्कल inside of other. ये केस बन गया inside of other case. But obviously if it is inside, then you will say the number of tangent is 0. So interestingly, if you see the values that number of common tangents can take, जो कि आज अब जैसे अगर हम बात करें numerical based questions आने लग गए हैं, तो ये numerical based question बन सकता है because it can have 5 different possible cases. The number of common tangents will vary from 0 to 4 and hence could be any of the answer. Okay, the next set of formulas that you will have to do for circles, which again would is something similar to what you guys have done in straight line. Circle through intersection of line or circle through intersection of two circles. That means, देखिए ऐसा कुछ डायग्राम है कि this is a circle and this is a straight line. So they intersect, let's say, 2 points A and B. Now a question is being asked that you are going to form a circle which passes through the intersection of this line and circle. Other could be that there are two circles and now they are intersecting, and then a question comes that now a circle passes through the intersection of these two, right? You will find questions like this also. So कुछ भी नहीं है, सिंपल काम है. अगर जो सर्कल गिवन था वो S था, लाइन थी L, तो S plus lambda L is equation of all such circles. ये जो पिंक लाइन बन रही है, इक्वेशन ऑफ ऑल सच सर्कल्स विच विल पास थ्रू द इंटरसेक्शन ऑफ लाइन एंड सर्कल। सिमिलरली अगर दूसरा कर्व, हाँ पहले में दूसरा कर्व था वो लाइन था, अगर द सेम इज बीइंग रिप्लेस्ड बाय अनदर सर्कल, यू जस्ट हैव टू डू s plus lambda s dash, that is the other circle expression. lambda should not be equal to -1, ठीक है, वो हमें नहीं करना है, ये याद आपको रखना है। क्यों? क्योंकि वो बन जाती है फिर कॉमन कॉर्ड की इक्वेशन जो अगला फॉर्म है। इसमें आगे बढ़ने से पहले इसका व्हाट इज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ दिस, यू इसको करते क्या है और सर इसमें करना क्या होता है क्वेश्चंस में, योर टारगेट इन दिस इज टू फाइंड लैम्डा, और इसके लिए क्वेश्चन में कोई ना कोई कंडीशन दे रखी होगी which you will do when we will do the other lecture. So find lambda would be the target which will be found using a condition given in the question. So मैंने अभी बात करा था that if s जो हम कंडीशन करी s plus lambda s dash, इसमें lambda should not be equal to -1. What will happen when this is actually equal to -1? Let's just see in this particular diagram which is over here. So common chord is nothing but when two circles intersect and there could be a common chord both of them as the name is pointing out. तो ये जो लाइन है ये वाली जो मैंने पिंक से बनाया है और मैं हाईलाइट कर रहा हूँ, दिस पर्टिकुलर लाइन इज कॉल्ड दी कॉमन कॉर्ड, ठीक है। तो कॉमन कॉर्ड की इक्वेशन कैसे निकलती है, इक्वेशन का मतलब होता है लाइन सेगमेंट नहीं लाइन, प्लीज नोटिस दैट। सो दिस लाइन इज कॉल्ड नथिंग बट s1 minus s2 equal to 0. Please remember for s1 minus s2 to represent a line there should be no x square and y square term, क्योंकि लाइन की इक्वेशन में तो x square और y square आता ही नहीं, तो ये कब पॉसिबल होगा, जब आप मेक श्योर करें s1 एंड s2 में कोफिशिएंट ऑफ x square एंड y square इज 1 या फिर इक्वल, पर हम जनरल रूल क्या करेंगे इज 1, ठीक है, ये याद करना है। आगे देखो फॉर्मूला सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी है, जब आप इस तरीके से कोई भी चीज ले लेंगे कैंसिल करेंगे तो सिर्फ x और y के कोफिशिएंट्स आएंगे, x square y square नहीं आएंगे। लेंथ ऑफ कॉमन टेंजेंट सॉरी कॉमन कॉर्ड ये वाली, इसी कॉर्ड की लेंथ जो कि ए बी है, ये कैसे निकलती है 2 टाइम्स अंडर रूट r1 स्क्वायर माइनस p1 स्क्वायर। p1 क्या है और r1 क्या है, अगर मैंने फर्स्ट सर्कल लिया है तो इस फर्स्ट सर्कल के सेंटर से अगर आप इसके ऊपर परपेंडिकुलर ड्रॉप करते हैं, जो कि मैंने अभी पहले रिवाइज करा, परपेंडिकुलर फ्रॉम अ पॉइंट टू अ लाइन, दैट फॉर्मूला, एंड दिस इज द r1। द सेम थिंग कैन बी डन फॉर द अदर सर्कल की अगर आप इस सर्कल से r2 बनाते और इस सर्कल से परपेंडिकुलर ड्रॉप करते तब भी ये सेम ही फॉर्मूला बनना था, व्हिच इज वेरी इजी टू डू, ठीक है, क्लियर है गाइस। The last important formula, though other important formulas are also there, you can just go through them. The last important formula with regard to your JEE mains from this particular chapter is angle of intersection of circles. You can do it by AOD method also, क्योंकि हम AOD में पढ़ते हैं ये कॉन्सेप्ट। तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट क्या हुआ कि यहाँ पर अगर इंटरसेक्ट कर रहे हैं तो उनके पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरसेक्शन पे एंगल क्या होगा, ठीक है। आइए so if this is the thing that they are intersecting, let's say at P, so one of the method is to find through AOD. AOD का मेथड कौन सा है, देखिए एक बार कि आपको पता है ये P पॉइंट पे and let's say this is S1 circle 1 and this is circle 2, so आप क्या करोगे, find derivative at P, ठीक है, on S1 and S2। उससे क्या आ जाएगा, इस लाइन की स्लोप m1 आ जाएगी अगर S1 पे डालोगे और अगले वाले पे पुट करोगे तो क्या आ जाएगा, you get m2, and then you can apply the formula of tan theta is equal to modulus of m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1 m2, which is very very easy to do because you're used to it now। Or the other method is to use the cosine formula, that is r1 square plus r2 square, sorry guys this should be minus d square, ये वाला जो है ये ठीक रेक्टिफाई कर लो, ये जो चीज आएगी ये बनेगी माइनस, ठीक है, माइनस d square upon 2 r1 r2। what is d, d is nothing but again distance between their centers, that is c1 c2 is called d here, ठीक है। सो c1 c2 जो डिस्टेंस है उसको हम d कहते हैं, तो ये फॉर्मूला याद होना चाहिए, r1 स्क्वायर प्लस r2 स्क्वायर माइनस d स्क्वायर अपॉन 2 r1 r2। इसमें जो और एक इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर्मूला है दैट इज कंडीशन ऑफ ऑर्थोगोनैलिटी, और यू विल स्टडी देम एज ऑर्थोगोनल सर्कल्स। ऑर्थोगोनल सर्कल्स क्या होते हैं भाई, let's just quickly do them। when this angle of intersection जो आप ये थीटा बोलते हो, when this angle of intersection comes out to be 90 degree, that means the two circles are orthogonal in nature। उन दो सर्कल्स को हम क्या बोलते हैं, वो क्या हो जाते हैं ऑर्थोगोनल। और अगर हमें सर्कल्स जनरल फॉर्म में दे रखे हैं तो दो जनरल फॉर्म में सर्कल्स की इक्वेशन कैसी हो जाती है भाई, आप कुछ ऐसा लिखेंगे, दूसरे वाले में सिर्फ चेंज कहां पर होगा, 2g2x plus 2f2y plus c2 equal to 0 हो जाएगा ये वाला, ठीक है। तो इसमें अगर ये इस तरीके से दिए हुए हैं, यू नाउ वांट टू फाइंड द कंडीशन ऑफ ऑर्थोगोनैलिटी, इट इज गिवन बाय 2 times g1 g2 plus f1 f2, right, and if this comes out to be equal to sum of their constant, then the circles are known to be orthogonal circles, that is what you should remember, ठीक है, very very important rule। so these are the major important concepts which are involved in circles which are important with regard to JEE Mains. There are other topics also. It is not a complete list, but this is something which you have to do for JEE Mains. All right, guys. Let's know. You can get back to your questions. Formula sheet is also given in the PDF format. Just go and revise the formulas once again, and now you can directly jump on and start solving questions.
Absolutely, Mathongo, I love this. Hmm. Oh, I'm just worrying. Oh, I'm just overthinking. Then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want to interrupt the pressure. And then I just do it for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, not 5 minutes, not 1 minute, just 2 minutes. You need to figure out this. Then, if you still feel no, that's a problem. The regular route. ठीक है अब मैं या तो खुद 10 मिनट बाद उठ जाऊँ 10 मिनट बाद उठ जाए एंड उठना ये तो 10 मिनट बाद उठ जाएंगे